I was just in a meeting the other day and we were talking about capacity, whether that's mental, whether that's physical energy or financial. We all have a limit. Unfortunately, a lot of times I catch myself running at capacity. That's not only unhealthy, it's just not sustainable. In this video, I'll be talking about reallocating your resources, whether that's time, energy, or money, more wisely. Before I do that, let me do a quick intro. It has been a while since I made a video on YouTube. I think my last video was over a month ago. So the last couple months have been chaotic. So just a brief update. Feel free to skip through this if you don't really care. We were traveling back in mid-June until mid-July. We were in Japan, we visited the Philippines, and we did a bunch of places in the Philippines as well. So it was quite a big trip, and it was a long one. While that was all great, July 13th, we came home. It's a Sunday night. July 14th, a flash flood hit my area. You can Google flash flood on July 14th in New Jersey. It was a surprise, and it just wrecked our last few weeks. Although, praise God, he's been faithful. But that's exactly why I have been MIA. Things are still happening in my house. There's lots of contractors coming in and out. So that's a different story for another day, but actually kind of related, because during that night when we decided to leave the house, there was some foundational issues that, it felt like we had to leave. We didn't know if it was still safe to stay here. That's all resolved now. But at that time, at that moment, that feeling of like having to leave all of these things behind, not knowing if you have something to come back to. So you start running your mind through different things that are of value. Before this even happened, I've already been leaning and really walking towards simplifying my life. I've been talking to my husband about it. Like, I want to simplify my life. I don't want to own too many things. I don't want to own too many expensive things, especially. Like, I just want to live a simple life. And so that's what I'm also going to talk about today. But the flood was actually one of the triggers that really made me take this more seriously. That said, we're going to go dive into how I'm making my life low maintenance, how I've been able to do that the past few months, what are the things that I've been doing to kind of walk that path. For those of you who don't know me, just to give you a quick background on why my life can be very crowded and chaotic. I am a working mom. I have a full-time job. I am very active at church, and I love that. Our calendar is just filled with kids' activities. We have 2 boys. I really try to stay healthy, so I do find time to work out. I have this YouTube channel that I love, and it's growing, and it's not something I want to give up because I actually enjoy it. I am starting a little business on the side. A million things are happening in my life. And while I love each and every single thing that I just said, life can get chaotic. And we don't realize that we keep taking on more things each day in our lives that are probably so unnecessary. And yet they stay there for a while because we haven't decluttered. And it becomes more damaging over time than helpful. And I want to go back to what I said in the beginning about capacity. And that is exactly why we meet capacity. And in fact, we go beyond our limits and go beyond the capacity we have mentally, emotionally, physically. And we're always drained, and we're always stressed, and we're always out of breath, catching up on things. And so, finally getting there, here are a few things that I've been doing over the past, I would say, year or so to start living a low maintenance lifestyle. A lot of these things I've been doing for a while now. It really does help me save more time, more money, more energy, and just allocating those resources somewhere else, making me less stressed, more flexible with my time. And I know it's not an overnight thing. These aren't things I did overnight. It took a while. But baby steps. I want to do more, but these are what have worked for me so far. But my goal is to do more things and make my life even more simplified. But I hope these things will help you kickstart a more simplified version of your life. So number 1 is my beauty routine. Whether you're a mom or you're single, being a woman, your beauty routine is just part of life. And I will never say do not have a beauty routine. I will never say or encourage not to take care of yourself. So it's not going to be on the table. It's not going to be an option. But I do feel and have observed and have experienced, there's a lot of things we do that are really unnecessary. They're causing more stress than good, to be honest. Every situation is different. What works for me will not necessarily work for you. But for me, I stopped doing my lashes and doing my nails. I hated the idea that if I didn't have my lashes, when they were like falling off and it was time to refill them, I felt ugly when I didn't have my false lashes. And I was like, that's just sad. That's just sad that you feel. I look at the mirror and I feel ugly because I don't have my lashes. And for those of you who maintain your lashes religiously, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You look totally different without them, and you feel it's horrifying to see your face without lashes. And that's sad. Like, I don't want to feel that way about myself just because I don't have this thing on. And it's so much time. It's so much time to schedule the appointment, to go there, spend at least an hour there, and it's so much money. But if you're so used to it, you kind of just go with it. But then if you think about it, like, is it really necessary? Like, do you really want to be so dependent on this thing? Otherwise, you'll feel ugly. That was the part I hated the most. I had an allergic reaction to I guess they used a new glue, and I just had really bad swollen eyelids, and I got scared to go again. And I'm sure if I went again, it would have been fine. But I took that as an opportunity to, you know what? I'm going to stop. And I started using mascara again. And sometimes I don't even wear mascara. And it feels good to actually like my face without being so dependent on that thing. So that's lashes. For my nails, I love beautiful nails, but I was never one to do like the excessive designs. I've always liked it clean, very simple, neutrals only, French tips. So maybe for me, it wasn't as hard to give up. It's not like I did like the whole complicated shebang. Cutting that off saved me time and money, but also I had a trigger. So again, this is cheating. I'm using Invisalign, and so when I started using Invisalign last year, if you use Invisalign, you had to use your finger to like lift it out of your mouth or out of your teeth. That would just ruin my gel nails each time. It would like rip it off. I was like, you know what? It's time to take a break anyway. And then I just enjoyed my natural nails, and I love not having to worry about them, even if they're not always the prettiest. It just feels lighter without all the excessive, unnatural things in my face. I still use makeup, very light makeup. So those are the two beauty things that I have taken away out of my life that I'm so happy I don't do anymore. And I guess with my makeup, I've really narrowed it down to like a few items that I constantly just use, and I don't collect makeup like I did when I was younger. Like I had a bunch of blushes, a bunch of eye makeup that I never used because I never use eye makeup. I had a bunch of lipsticks. Like I don't use all of them. I only use 1 to 2 brands of certain things, and that's it. So I guess it also comes with age, where you get to a point where you know what you want. This is the only thing you'll be using, and you just stick with it. So I understand when you're much younger, you're probably still exploring and trying to find what's best for you. So yeah. And number 2 is quality over quantity for everything. I know it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. And I'm not just talking about things like clothes, I'm talking about everything in my life, people, even. I said earlier we were traveling for like a month, and we were like in different places. So we went to Vegas to meet with my in laws, and then we went to Japan for a week, and then we stayed in the Philippines for 3 weeks. But then we were also jumping from one place to another while in the Philippines. Living in my suitcase for a few weeks actually made me realize I love having just a few things. Now I'm trying to be more mindful of things I'm buying. I used to buy like all colors of one thing I like. I will never do that now. I'm trying my best to be more mindful and more intentional with the things that I'm buying. And for example, like gym clothes. How many gym clothes do I really need? Do I really need 20-30 pairs of leggings and 20-30 pairs of sports bras and simultaneously pairs of shorts for the gym and whatnot? I know a lot of you will say, yes, you do. But no, I really don't. I need like what, five the most for the week and then do laundry and then repeat them again. Pajamas. Like, do I really need 20 pairs of pajamas that I will never use because I'm just using like the three or the five that's on repeat on the top of my pile? Now I'm trying to be more mindful of just getting rid of everything and buy things as needed. My kids don't really need 10 pairs of jeans when they're gonna outgrow it in 2 months. I'm trying to be efficient with that. Like each season, my kids should only have like 3 to 5 pairs of bottoms and five maybe nice shirts that they can reuse that season, which is just 3 months, and then we can buy a new pair or new set next season if we have to, if they've outgrown it. It just saves us so much more space and money. Like I said, this doesn't just apply to things, this applies to people. We've heard it again and again. You know, you can have 100 friends, but really only two of them are real. Like, who are you spending time with? Who are you taking time out of your week to see, to host at home, and to whatever it may be? When you get out of the house and spend time with friends, you're not only spending time, but you're spending money. And you're taking away your time away from your family. So make sure you're spending this with quality people who are actually valuable to you and who value you as a friend. A lot of times we don't realize that we're spending so much effort on this person when really they could care less about you. You know, things, people, where are you spending your time and energy on? Quality versus quantity. Before I go to the last one, I wanted to briefly share the sponsor of today's video. The Brilliant app makes it easy to learn anywhere with fun, hands-on lessons. Whether you're diving into a new topic or doing a quick practice session, you can level up at home or on the go. Give your mind a daily workout with interactive courses in math, programming, science, AI, data, and more. You'll become a better thinker and problem solver, one hands-on lesson at a time. Whether you're learning to translate your ideas into code, build formulas, design electrical circuits, run simulations with data, or explore cutting-edge topics like AI. To learn for free on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/Jean-Marie, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant has also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. So thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video. All right, so on to the last one would be removing or spending less time on social media apps. I've slowly realized that privacy is gold and gatekeeping is so in. Recently, I've found so much comfort and value in not sharing my entire life to everyone I know. You start to see who your real friends are, who's really checking in, who really values you the most, and who you value the most. And this goes back to my previous one. It allows you to allocate more appropriately who you're spending time with, who you're spending your energy with. I realized that, you don't have to care about what everyone has to say. You can limit it to people who matter to you. In my last video, I actually talked about how I'm spending less time on social media. So if you want to check that out, I'm linking it here. Certain things that I've been doing that worked for me that allowed me to spend less time on the apps. You don't have to delete it if you don't want to, but you can certainly cut down some time. So check this video out. To wrap it up, beauty routine, trim it down. Maybe there's things you don't really need. You're beautiful already. Maybe you don't need to do this, this, and this. Quality over quantity, not just with things, but with people. Be more mindful and intentional where you're spending your time, your energy, and your money on. Do you really need to do this thing that you do every week that you're not even happy about? Maybe not. And do you really need to respond to 20 people in comments on on your social media apps? Maybe not. Just some examples. So it's a journey. I'm taking baby steps. There's a lot more work to do to simplify my life. I'm sure you can say the same. but we're in this together. Let me know in the comments if you have any additional thoughts. Maybe there's things you're doing that could help me. I would love to hear that. I hope to make more videos soon. Please send me some topics in mind that you have. Would love to hear them out. For now, goodbye, and I'll see you on the next one.